Alright, I want to go to floors really quickly. They have a structure that's similar to walls, but they're built a little differently. So if you go to floor architectural under your architecture ribbon, it allows you to create a boundary. So you remember when we looked at those walls, and when you looked at a wall vertically, you could pick it and go to edit boundary, and it would edit that outside boundary. This one, it actually wants you to create that boundary, so I'm going to go to rectangle and just left click, and it has a span direction here, so it's saying things would span this way. If this were truly a single span, then it would probably span that way, so I'm going to change my span direction by selecting span direction and selecting a line I want it to be parallel to the span direction. And then over here it's going to put a 12-inch generic floor in there, so I'm just going to hit check. And what it's going to do, it's going to go to level 1 because I'm on level 1. So if I go to east elevation, on level 1 you're going to see it's created that floor and it's extruded it down from that level. Okay, now I want to go ahead and go back to level 1, and I want to look at this in section. So I'm going to draw a section. I'm going to go to view and section through that guy. Okay, and then having done that, I'm going to double click on that section head to navigate me to that section view. Okay, now right now I have a generic floor that has no structure to it. So if I go to edit type and edit structure, you're going to see that that structure is just structure 1 by category. Okay, so I'm going to cancel out of that. I'm going to go to this type selector pull down, and I'm going to pick wood truss joist with a carpet finish. Okay, and now I'm going to zoom in, and it doesn't have any detail because I'm still in my coarse detail level. If I go to medium, it's going to show me those joists, right, and it's going to show me that carpet on top. Now if I pick it again and pick another type, let's just go to, how about wood joist with wood finish, right? You'll see that you've got a wood floor, and then plywood, and then a wood joist, right? So let's see, let's go ahead and take a look at that structure. So if I go to select that floor and go to edit type, go to edit structure, you'll notice the thickness is 10 3/4. There you have it, the oak floor. We've got plywood, and we've got 2 by 10 joists, right? And it's creating that floor. So it's pretty straightforward. If I go back to level 1, right, you can select that and edit boundary. And again, similar to the wall, you can adjust that boundary and making sure that it's a single closed loop. Hit check, and there you've got that floor. Now I'm going to Control Z out of that. Just cancel that. The other thing that you can do with floors is you can slope them. So for example, if I pick this floor, I can go ahead and let's go to modify sub-elements, and if I pick this point, I can change that to, let's say, 2 inches, and I can pick this point and change that to 2 inches. Whoops, 2 inches. And now let's go ahead and do a section the other way. Do a section through here, and if I pick that, right, you're going to see that it's going to slope from 0 to positive 2 inches. And then if I go to a medium, you're going to see, right, that only the finish is sloping, that the structure is actually remaining horizontal. And the reason for that is because if you select that and go to edit type and go to edit structure, that finish is set to variable. If I get rid of that variable and click OK and click OK, then the whole thing slants. You see how that whole thing is slanted? But if I go to edit type, go to edit structure, and make just the finish variable and nothing else, and click OK, then the structure stays flat and the finish slopes. So that's how you would handle various like sloping roofs with rigid insulation. So if I go back to level 1, I can still select this, and you can actually add split lines. So I could, split this down the center here, and it'll add additional points, right? So you can see if I select this and go to modify subelements and pick this point, right, it's already accommodating for that slope, right? But I could change this to 2, right? And then I could pick this and change it to 2 inches and make sure I change that to, yeah, that's at 2 feet. Let's put that at 2 inches, right? And then if I go to this, you'll see that that goes flat across there with a thicker finish and then slopes down. Okay, so that's just a quickie on floors. All right, I'm going to come back, we'll talk about roofs.